But what I'm saying though is that the people in the comments that are criticizing you, right? They aren't artists themselves going through what you're going through. So they're speaking from a place more of ignorance though.
Exactly. And listen, people
Yeah.
criticize everybody online. Have you ever seen someone not get criticized online? I mean, everybody. I see 50 Cent getting destroyed by people because of how he handled his beef with Big Meech.
Right.
When I agree with 50 Cent, but yet people are dissing him. Well, why? Why do they think he's wrong? If this guy...
Yeah, let's get into that, right? Because like you're a big fan of BMF, the show, right?
Yeah,
I know you're
it's
a fan
great
of Power.
fucking show.
Yeah.
I like the show. Yeah.
Did you ever have any interactions with BMF coming up?
Nah. Never met any of them. And why would I? They're not affiliated with Brooklyn. They weren't Atlanta and all that. And like, I've never even performed in Atlanta in my life. I've never been to Atlanta.
What about the situation between 50 and Big Meech do you agree with 50 about?
Well, I mean, I would expect a dude like Big Meech, who's been through what he's been through and has a reputation he has, and 50 Cent helped you with millions of dollars, why would you take a picture with his enemy?
Right.
I feel there's no excuse for that. And here's the thing. Let's say he did it by accident. I mean...
It wasn't, though, because
okay,
Rick Ross was giving him money.
Okay, if you didn't do it by accident, then it's totally wrong. If you did it by accident, you could have called 50 up and said, yo, I fucked up. My bad. If you feel you're above humbling yourself because you're Big Meech to call 50 up and be like, yo, my bad, that's crazy because this is a guy who helped your son. He probably did more for your son than anybody in the world. So, I mean, I don't know. It looks to me, from the outside, 50 Cent got backstabbed.
Yeah, because what happened was, I guess Rick Ross paid Big Meech some money to show up for a show or something like that. And there's text messages between Lil Meech and 50.
Well, let me ask you a question. Do you think that Big Meech did not know of the beef between 50 and Rick Ross?
Absolutely not. I'm positive that he knew.
Okay, so no excuse. That's it. It's simple. No excuse.
Right. But what I'm explaining to you is that there's text messages between Lil Meech and 50 where Lil Meech is like, come on, like nobody gives a fuck about Ross or whatever. My dad just wanted some money because he's like, coming out.
That's even worse because 50 looks at it like Little Meech is not loyal, even to his own father.
Do you think, all right, did you see the situation?
Oh, but did I get it wrong?
No, you're right. You're right. Absolutely. What did you think of the situation with Lil Meech recently with the video footage of him and the police officer? Did you see that?
No, I didn't see it. Tell me about it.
All right. So what happened was that he got pulled over in a vehicle with his friend, right? And his friend is asleep. He tosses his guns and allegedly, I think, drugs onto his friend. And they're in Florida. So the guns aren't illegal to have. So he's in the cop car and the cops all like, yeah, we got the guns. And he's like, it's not illegal though. We're in Florida. Lil Meech is like, did you find the other stuff?
Hold on. Good question. Does Lil Meech have a license for these guns in Florida?
I don't know. They didn't say that part.
No, because he just said it's not illegal. It's not illegal if you have a license. You can't walk around in Florida without a license.
Right. But the point is the officer is on the footage saying it's not illegal. So there's nothing for him to worry about at that point, right?
Okay.
The way that he's describing the situation. Lil Meech is on the footage saying, what about the other stuff? So he's volunteering information saying like, what about the other stuff? Did you get it from the other guy? So he's
here's the thing. A Lil Meech, I don't know the guy personally. You know what I'm saying? I just know he's on the show. He does a great job on the show.
Right.
And he's the son of Big Meech. Now, obviously, he grew up in a different time. He didn't grow up in the time I did. He didn't grow up in the time 50 Cent did, and didn't grow up in the time Big Meech did. So I don't know what he knows as a human being, as a kid growing up in the street. I don't know if he grew up as even a thug, and now he's just playing a thug. I don't know if he was, you know what I mean, if he was what his father was. That I don't know. So it's hard for me to talk about what you're mentioning now without knowing more about the person. You know what I mean? So maybe he's just ignorant, and you have to understand, if you know and then you do certain things, that's fucked up because you knew better, and you were trying to be fucked up. But if you have no clue, you just made a mistake, then I don't know. So yeah, I would say it's nuanced. How about I
But
would
it gets
rather not
worse
really. I
though.
would rather not comment on it
All right,
because
okay.
I don't know enough about it.
All right, but I was gonna say that it does get worse though, because like his friend gets
Okay,
40 months for it.
his boy got 40 months.
Yeah, 40 months for it.
So what
And
should he have done? So I understand. What should have happened? Tell me so I understand what
I
you're
mean,
thinking.
at that point, I don't think you should volunteer information if they didn't find anything yet, because they had to go back to the car to look for it.
So why did he volunteer information for?
Exactly, because that's why people are criticizing him, saying, "Oh, like
Oh,
you were trying to get ahead of this thing, like just you know what I mean, to like be the first one to cooperate, basically."
oh, I see.
Yeah, so
Well,
that's
I
why
mean,
they were criticizing him.
I don't understand that logic. If the cops didn't know, you should be happy you just got away with something.
Exactly.
Yes, I listen. I don't know the dude personally. I really don't have any opinion of the guy. He's great on the show. The show was a good show, but I don't think there'll be another season, right? Because
No.
he pissed 50 off. So
Yeah. And so his boy gets 40 months, and there's footage, or I mean audio recording of him talking to his boy on the phone, and he's apologizing to him, saying, "Oh, I'm gonna make it up to you, man. I'm sorry," and stuff like that. A whole year passes, he doesn't send him any money or anything like that. So then his boy 3 Luck recently just came out and put an Instagram post going off on him, calling him a druggie and all this shit like that. And he calls up to No Jumper, going off on him. And so it's
no,
just a bad
no
look.
jumper.
Yeah. But wait, before we get into No Jumper, right? Before we get into
Wow,
that, but do
wow.
you think that it's still important in
Hold on,
2025
that
to
guy's still around? He is, after all the fucking his wife did to other
Yeah, yeah,
dudes?
yeah, yeah. Come on. Wait.
All right.
But do you think it's still important in 2025 to not be snitching?
Well, I mean, if you're raised around not snitching, then it's going to be the way that you perceive how things should be. The problem is a dude like 6ix9ine made a lot of these people feel it's okay. You understand? It was never okay in my world. It was never okay in my neighborhood where I grew up. So, but here's where the nuance comes for Necro. Because I'm aware that my personality will not want to snitch, I'm going to keep myself away from things that will put myself in the position to make me have to choose. I'll give you an example. If I started pushing pounds right now and doing it with a friend, I have to realize that if I get caught, cops are going to want to press me. Assuming if it's a fucking 1 pound, what are they going to press me for him for? But let's say I'm down with some dude who's a huge dealer that can do 10 years off my information. Well, then I need to realize I'm in the game. If you're in that game, to do that. Now, what is the Necro game? What has it been? The Necro game is mostly violence. There's not really been drug dealing or anything like that. And my violence has usually been just beef on tour, and I use my fists most of the time. I've used my fists. So for me, an issue would be me banging somebody out physically with my knuckles and getting into a problem where so when the situation happened and me and Hyde got locked up for fucking up those cornballs in Switzerland, Zurich, it never came to a point where they were asking me to snitch on anybody. I just admitted what I did. So I had to deal with my consequences. So, you know, I think a lot of these other people, they're getting into situations that will make them have to snitch on another man, a homie, a friend. And I don't put myself in that situation. So I will never have to ever do that. You understand? And maybe these people that are doing things like that don't realize it's going to come to a day where they're going to be sitting in an interrogation room and police are going to say, oh, you're going to avoid 20 years if you don't give up your friend. No, you'll avoid 20 years if you give up your friend. They might not have thought that. They might not have had that thought in their mind to think it through, that that's going to be the consequence of their life. You see it in movies all the time, in television shows and all that shit, where people get put to the test. So I knew early on, even in my 20s, this is why I started a record label, was doing hip hop. I was selling weed and dealt with my boy Rob Weeder, who was selling coke, and I was like his bodyguard at the time and riding around. And I never put myself in the position to have to do that to people. Now look at 6ix9ine. He needed these dudes to help him blow up. And then they started putting pressure on him. And he put himself in the position to have to snitch on people. Same thing if you join the mafia. There's going to be a point where you're going to put yourself in a position where you're going to have to rat on somebody or not. So you see, that's what happens. If you put yourself in the position, then you have to make a choice. Am I going to do 20 years or am I going to rat and not do 20 years? So how do I make it where I don't have to make that choice and where I don't have to go do 20 fucking years? Don't put myself in that position.
That's smart, though.
Legal hustle. Be smart.
Yeah.
You could be gangsta with your business and with handling shit and with your knuckles. Because with your knuckles, maybe I'm going to, do a little time. I'm not going to have to rat on somebody. Unless I kill somebody with my knuckles, but then I'm the one who did it. So you can't rat that out to anybody because I did it with my own fists. So, why is Lil Meech a dude? Serious question. Why is Lil Meech a guy who's on a hit TV show, who has over $1 million supposedly, riding around with drugs and guns now?
That's what I was just about to ask you, though, right? So if he's just a regular civilian, he's not from the street life or anything, right?
Didn't his father teach him anything?
Well, I mean,
yo, son, nah. Isn't that the point of father? Listen, isn't that the point of fatherhood?
Right.
Teach your son not to do that? Because you went through
with 50 recently talking about Tammy Cowens, right? And calling Big Meech a snitch. Someone could argue that he taught him something there, though,
Oh.
The rumors were 50 saying that he's producing a show now of Tammy Cowens, who was closely associated with Big Meech, right?
Oh, right. You're talking about that she's gonna reveal that Big Meech was a snitch?
Right, exactly.
Okay. So you're dealing with a son who's seen his father do it.
Allegedly.
Yes.
Right.
Right. I mean, listen, a lot of that shit, I don't agree with a lot of it, man. Listen, the Necro mentality is like this. Hold your shit down. In general, your cipher. Roll with only dudes that are down to bang out, that are down to get busy for you. Handle your shit with fists, if you can. Shoot the fair one. And stay away from fucking things that are going to put you away for 20 years. Just don't do it. If it's going to put you away, listen, banging someone out with the fist, yes, you could get, an attempted murder charge. You know what I mean? But I'll go that route. You understand? Listen, I own guns, but do I need them every fucking minute? You understand what I'm saying? Why do a lot of people in the hood use guns? Because they're pussy. Because they're feeble. They can't fight any other way. You understand? So I'm more of a boxer mentality. You know, if we have to go there to the guns, fine. But, you know, if we can handle it like men with the fists first, we'll go that route. Because New York City is very unforgiving to illegal guns. Even if you get caught without a clip. Like, you know what I mean? So if you have brains, if you're a smart dude, you're going to think, well, how do I get around this? Okay. And listen, you know, some people don't want to have to box or build their body up. They want to just rely on the gun. A lot of dudes in the hood, they rely on the gun. That's it. Okay. I think rely on the gun, you might do 25 years. So, you know, you have to think about consequences. That's one thing you have to do. You have to weigh consequences. And I've always been the type of guy that I think even before I punch you in the face, I'm thinking, I'm looking around. Are there any police around? Is this going to be a problem for me? Can I get away with this? Because, things can go left very quickly, when you're in a beef. You know what I mean? So, I'm not saying every time, I'm pausing time to look around, but my spider sense, does this make sense? Consequences. You have to think about what's going to happen down the road. And obviously, Lil Meech does not think about consequences. He was not taught and didn't learn that in the hood himself. So,
well, you saw the video of him when he was at the airport and got caught with guns, right? Do you remember that one?
Listen, this is my opinion. Anybody who gets caught at the airport with a gun is a fucking dumb fuck. Your brain is not working. You should have an excuse from a doctor that says his brain was not working at the time. I can't even think of a reason that you would be that dumb.
Yeah, he was trying to say it was his bodyguards.
All right, whatever, man. Whatever, man. Nah, bro, that's just ignorant. That's just very stupid ignorance. That's when I think he might be on drugs. Same way Jules Santana did it. And, other people, they might have been on the lean. Maybe They were on lean and just didn't realize it. If you're on lean, I've never taken it before, but maybe it messes with your head so much that you don't even realize I'm bringing a gun with me now to what I'm doing because you're not thinking. So listen, if lean is making you do that, you have a lean problem.
Right.
You need to go to a rehab. You need to quit. I don't understand some of these hood people. You understand what I'm saying? I'm from the hood. Don't mean I relate with dummies. You know what I mean? I relate with 50 Cent. We're talking about a dude that's hood, mad respected for being hood. I think I'm similar to 50 Cent in a lot of my moves. Not as successful, but in mentality. Like the way he punched Ja Rule in the face when Ja Rule stepped to him early on, talking shit somewhere, and he stuffed him. That's a Necro move. You know what I mean?